Hello and welcome to another episode of Founder Stories, where I speak to bootstrap founders about their journey to growth and success. Today's episode is rather an interesting episode because I am talking to Pratik Ghela, the founder of MakeStories, MakeForms, Flexisign, who is building a suite of products for marketing agencies and for enterprise companies. And he has a very different take on not being an indie hacker and actually bootstrapping a successful and a scalable business. Also, this episode is brought to you by Product Logs, a customer feedback management platform where you can easily collect and organize your feature requests, publish roadmaps, and change logs for your users. So, without any further ado, let's get. Hey, hi, Pratik. Thanks for joining in.
Hey, hi Priyanka. Thanks for having me on your podcast today.
Yeah, I mean, we did some pretty much back and forth, and I think I have been following your journey for like 1 year now,
Okay,
and I have a lot of questions to ask you.
sure.
But before we start that, just for the context of our listeners, what
hmm
what are you actually working on? Where are you based? What is happening?
Sure. No worries, no worries. So let me first show you the view that I am having. So like
Oh, beautiful. Are you working out of WeWork or
no, this is our own office actually.
own office? Oh, nice. Great, great.
So this is in fact the best part of the office, but unfortunately, my place to sit is not here due to some kind of vastu. So this is where Chintan and my who is the CTO and Pratik Gadge who is the tech lead they sit here. So they have in fact gotten the best part of the office, I would say.
That's amazing. But I think you currently where you're sitting, you have a very nice view. Like now I'm getting jealous and all.
Yeah, yeah. No, there should be a reason to come to the office, right? You
Yeah.
should have because these days if you are calling people to the office, you really need to incentivize them.
Yeah. I think there's one word called peacocking, office peacocking or something this term has come across. So like basically
Okay.
you are incentivizing your employees to just come and come to office, do all sorts of
Mm.
activities, do fun
Yeah.
activities or have these sort of lounges, etc. so that people can come to office and work.
And
Yeah.
just have to search about it. Cool. So just to I've never been a product guy myself. So I always used to run an agency. So I did run an agency for a decent, I would say, 10 years since my college days. So 2008 to 2016, and 2017 was a year where like my agency wasn't doing that well, and I was thinking that we would put. So I thought that rather than doing a dev agency, we should be doing a maintenance agency. Like because dev work is such a work where like it's tough to bring in new projects every day.
Yeah.
So I started something called as Pressmate, which was a WordPress like maintenance agency. Did not quite do well, but for that business we were sponsoring a WordCamp in the US, and over there I met someone and he told me that you should try out this new tech called EMP. And in 2018, while I was back, once I was back from the US, we started focusing on this new AMP technology by Google. Okay, and while we did that, what we understood was that actually this was an emerging technology, and Google at that point in time launched something called as web stories.
Can you just give a little bit brief about what is EMP technologies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so if you understand this very well, so Google for quite some time, like I would say over the last 8 to 10 years, Google was focusing a lot on the page speed. Okay,
Yeah.
so Google came out with web page test, then they came out with Google Page Insights and all those things, and they were trying to tell people that you should like have your websites encoded in a certain way. You should have your JavaScript optimized, but like people were still not giving much attention to those things. So what Google did is they came up with this technology called AMP, which is accelerated mobile pages.
Mhm.
And they initially started working with the what you say the publishers,
Mhm.
and they for all those publishers who would use the AMP technology, they started giving them some kind of benefits on the Google SEO,
Mhm.
which in fact later in 2020 to 23 backfired on Google, And if you remember, there used to be a small lightning icon
Yeah,
for
yeah.
these M pages. So Google actually it backfired a lot. So that it was like a completely new HTML technology,
Mhm,
which had got which was quite proprietary.
mhm,
Google open sourced the project, but it did not go quite well.
mhm,
So that was all about AMP tech.
mhm,
Then what happened recently is that they started working on it in 2000, I think 15 or 16, I don't remember. But 2018, in like 2 to 3 years, Google came with something called as web stories. Okay?
mhm,
And Google said that okay, you have stories everywhere, so now we will also have it on web.
mhm,
And then what they did is they launched the tech behind it, but they did not launch the product.
mhm.
And since we used to run an agency, and we had this vision that like no one is going to, not no one, but people are going to switch to low code, no code.
Mhm.
And we understood that people would really not want to like hand code this web
Yeah.
stories. And then we said that okay, so let's try it out ourselves, and we will create a tool for this kind of web stories. And we launched make stories, I would say, a year later.
Mhm,
So initially we had a word, so we started building in March 2018, and by September 2018, we had a POC, not a POC, but I would say an internal alpha version ready. So it took us a decent 6 months to build the internal alpha. We did show it to a couple of engineers at Google, and they loved it. And then we tried to like reach out to various other senior level guys at Google, and then we kind of got a meeting with them, but they said that hey, listen, no one is going to use these kind of tools. Like at least the publishers will never use anything like which is not within their systems. So we were like we're like okay, we'll see what happens. And then I would say in the next 6 months, they said that keep us updated about the progress, which we did. And in 2019 April, which was like exactly about 1.5 1 year and 1 month, I would say, after we took this decision, and there was this conference in Tokyo called the AMP. So AMP literally used to have conference every year, and then in that conference, Google said that hey, we feel that your product is now matured and people might use it. So let's do this. Let us feature your product in this AMP conference, and then from there onwards, I think it all kept going. It kept getting bigger and bigger, and till date I would say we had a like partnership with Google, wherein they used to introduce us to all these tier 1 publishers in India, US, and Brazil. And I think it's like if you pick up the web stories ecosystem
So
today.
can you just give a little bit of explanation of what is web stories, what does it do, and how did you also like jump into that?
Sure. So web stories is basically, like it's story but on your web. Now, the problem with other stories like on Instagram and WhatsApp, it's that it goes away in 24 hours. Okay. But these web stories stay on the web till you want it. So they technically do not have a shelf life. They are there forever. They are there
Okay.
till the
Mhm,
time you want them to be.
mhm,
Now, regarding surfacing of these web stories, they can surface on Google Discover
mhm.
and Google search engine results also.
Okay, interesting.
So we have been seeing a decent amount of traffic till date. The web stories created using Make Stories, we have had about roughly 10 billion views, like on the web stories that were created by our users.
Mhm,
So that's the data that we have. Till date, we still see a lot of our users getting 500,000 traffic on one web story in a day. But those are some of the real, very, very big publishers in India that are
mhm.
getting these kind of traffic, and when those traffics are being driven by us. So that was my first product. Never a product guy, always a developer.
Okay.
Then like while we built this, our so there was like if you see the Google AMP historically, they were doing multiple things. They were doing stories, they were doing pages, they were doing emails, they were doing forms. Okay, so at that time, we built our first product. It was like a great feeling. So I booked another domains like make pages, make forms, make emails.
Yeah, I also noticed like all of your products has this make and then it has a suffix of
Suffix.
probably story or forms, etc. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think this has been the thing with me that either I'm always on the extremities. Like either my product names or the company names would be too simple, or else they would be too complicated. There's nothing in middle. So
But I think simple product names actually catch a lot of attention as well, and complex product names will somehow,
yeah,
if it
the
is not
recall values
resonating
matter.
with the audience, yeah, if it is not resonating,
Yeah, yeah. I think the recall value should be really good.
yeah, yeah.
But still, if like we are very simple make stories. People still say make my stories, and they're still confused. So I am not sure how much simpler can I make it. But like it was on 18th of Feb, we saw this entire event. On 26th of Feb, we were like, okay, within 1 week, we said like whatever we are doing, like we are any which was not happy with it,
Mhm,
so we'll go ahead and we'll start doing product.
mhm.
And I think one advantage that we had over anyone else who is starting a product today was that we understood the tech. Okay, because we ourselves were developers,
Yeah.
so we knew many things about the product experience and what the user needs. Because we at one point in time we also used a lot of product ourselves,
Mhm,
so that journey and that advantage that we had, wherein we understood product,
mhm.
how to use the product, really
Yeah.
helped us in the entire journey.
Yeah, but there, I come across this question. Did you ever like service customers? Because I understand web stories or make stories was servicing customers in the publishing industry, right? So
Mhm.
did you have an prior experience in this customer segment? Or
No, never. So as I said that like we would have not ever had connected with these customers if we are doing it on our own. It was actually in the initial days, it was definitely Google. They helped us a lot because it
Mhm.
was mutually benefit for both of them.
Yeah.
Like it was beneficial for us because we were getting customers, and it was beneficial for Google because they were kind of getting a tooling wherein it would increase the number of stories in the ecosystem. So it was
Mhm.
beneficial for both of them. Later, I think there were so many articles written on web stories, and in all the articles that were written, everyone used to mention make stories.
Mhm.
So I would say till date we have not spent a single dollar on marketing. It
Wow,
was
amazing.
all driven by product. Like if you ask me today, we do not even have any salesperson, who goes on the sales calls and things like that. It's just me or someone from the core team that would go and talk to these customers. Like some of the customers even have my phone numbers and direct access to my emails. So I would say it was always about not doing things the way a company would do. It was, and it has been this way with me for since my childhood days, that I have been pretty anti-establishment. Like if there is certain thing that's working in a certain way, I would make sure that I don't do it that way.
I can so relate with you on that. Somehow
Yeah,
I think that there are these outliers who really who feel that, well, if there's a pattern going on and if something is going on in a certain way, there is a time to change, and probably, yeah, like Apple founder said that you have to challenge the status quo.
yeah, because
So
yeah, correct. Because what I felt is that I actually never understood customer support team, to be very honest. Because all you are doing is customer is coming up with a burning problem,
mhm,
and he literally feels, and then anyone who, even if they have paid $10, they feel that my $10 is so important that if I'm having an issue, it should be solved right away.
yeah,
Now those issues can be of multiple levels of magnitude. Like it can There may not be a bug. It's just that the user really does not know how to use the system. And all I've as I said, I've been a user myself. What I have seen is that 50 to 60% of the times people are never getting the answers. They are saying, okay, we are looking into it and we'll get
Mhm.
back to you.
Mhm.
So and I really in my early days when I'm getting started, I did not want to set that precedence, because if you see any company,
Yeah.
they are never able to ace the customer support.
Mhm.
Like you pick up any company, like just to give you an example, I was working with Freshworks, and
Mhm.
not working, like we just implemented Freshworks at our organization.
Yeah, I saw one of your
Yeah,
posts.
you saw it. I
Yeah.
later deleted it because I really want to keep my feed clean and not. So once I
No,
tell
but I got that. Like basically, you were struggling with
yeah,
their support team,
yeah.
and they were not responding. Correct. Yeah.
So I really like I feel that like rather than thinking about going big first, it actually makes a lot of sense to optimize and ensure that you are able to like sustain at a certain level in the very beginning, wherein if you see today we do not have a sales, we do not have a support, and like, but how we are working it out is that uh, we are trying to make sure that everyone goes one level above. So just to give you an idea, so in my company, like it's me, then after me it's Chintan, then there is Pratik Ghela, and then there is a dev team completely. So what I am now doing is that since I'm done with doing products, okay, and even Chintan has been with me for last 7 years now. So he also understands that what a product needs. So I am now getting out of that particular role. I am trying to get into sales and support, and then Chintan is taking over my role. Then Pratik is taking over Chintan's role. So I feel if you are bootstrapped and like
So
if you
just for context, you guys are three co-founders, right? Like
no, so it's me. It's just me who is the founder.
okay.
So Chintan and Pratik are have been with me as for quite some time. It's about almost 8 years they have been with me.
And all three of you like looked after the tech, and nobody
Yeah,
was in.
yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
some.
We so the like I would say that I've like while I see a lot of things, like which people feel that okay, he's telling these things very easily, but I would say that I had these privileges because if you see from the day I started building products, there has been a whole history of experience of 8 to 10 years
Mhm.
that has helped me to
Mm,
make those decisions. So anyone who is like and I feel that lately it has also been a thing wherein like all the if you see the ecosystem today, it's all about micro. Okay,
yeah,
like
yeah.
build a product that does
On
a very small thing
yeah,
and solves a very small specific problem.
problem. Correct. Yeah.
Now and if you see us, we are extremely opposite. We are going macro.
Hmm.
Like if you see our entire product range, okay, it's make stories where it started right now, and then in I think around 2021 we were doing a lot of things, like we were doing make emails, we were doing make pages, two more products we were building concurrently with make stories.
Hmm.
What happened is that in the make pages product, we needed to have a form builder, because any landing page builder will be without, and like it won't work without a form builder.
So
So we
what was
started.
make pages? What was make
It was
pages?
for building landing pages.
Landing pages. Okay.
Yeah, because what the vision that we had and we still have today is that the Raja goal is to always go and build make.io.
Okay.
That is the final goal.
That would
So
be a suite of products
suite of
is
products.
something like Zoho.
Yeah, something like Zoho, but very focused on helping the marketing teams, because the marketing teams
Mm-hmm.
do videos,
Mm-hmm.
they use forms to collect data, they build landing pages, they send emails, and to collect the data, they use forms.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the entire goal. Now, what happened is that, in fact, MakeForms was never going to be a product. Like there was no, it was never thought of that we will create MakeForms. It was always make stories, make emails, make pages, and make videos. What happened is that while we were building that make pages, we needed a form builder, and we started creating a form builder. All of the sudden, we started finding so many problems in the form building that we ended up creating the entire product out of it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And if you see today, make pages and make emails, they have not even started.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And MakeForms is a full-blown product within itself, which is now
Mhm.
competing with Typeform, JotForm, and
Yeah.
all the form builders out there. So I think, as I was saying, like it's very easy to like for me to say these things, and but if you understand one thing, which I feel it's quite an issue today, is that everyone is running behind microservices.
Mhm.
Now, the problem with microservice is that it's not enterprise ready,
Mhm. Yeah.
because
Mhm.
it might like you might reach a half a million, quarter million, 1 million, maybe $2 million in revenue.
Mhm.
Post that, either you would be sucked in by an enterprise tool like Atlassian or Salesforce or someone. But if you are trying to build an ecosystem of yourself, you have to grow macro.
Mhm.
And what I feel like about this entire indie community is, number one, there is a huge issue that's going on right now, wherein everyone is saying that use bubble and build your apps and no code. What we feel is that even if we are not no code and we are building everything from scratch,
Mhm.
our tech debt is there is a certain amount of tech debt, and it comes with every company.
Mhm.
If you are building something on a bubble, and
Mhm.
let's say today you want to scale,
Scale. Yeah. Scalability is an issue with no code
it's an
tools. Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
So we never wanted to take that approach, and we
I
were
I personally feel no code tools, specifically like boilerplates or Bubble, etc. These are very much suitable if you're wanting to test out an idea. If you have an idea and you just want to test it out and you want an MVP ready in like a weekend or something,
yeah,
probably, and people who are not very comfortable with coding from scratch. So
yep,
these are very helpful in those kind of situations. But if you are
mhm,
actually, like you said, if you are building something in a macro scale or something which would be at some point of time enterprise ready, you have
yeah,
to do everything from scratch. You cannot rely on
exactly,
no code or low code tools. In fact, for me personally, I'm not from a tech background. So I've been using Webflow for my entire landing
mhm,
page and CMS. And now, after I think 7 8 months of doing of this journey on Webflow, I realized that no, it's not scalable. Like there are so many things, like we want to introduce free tools, but I can't do it on Webflow. I have to have a something, like it has to be hosted, and like the data has to come in, etc. Whatever. But it
yeah,
cannot happen on Webflow, so I have to rely on my developer on that in that case, or probably
yeah,
take another tool. So yeah, it's certainly not scalable.
yeah. And like when we talk about Webflow, like we did think about going that route with Framer, Webflow, but like frugality with which we work, it has always helped us. Now I'll give you one small example. All our websites are on WordPress. Okay. Today, MakeForms has about 9,000 templates in, and we have about our website in 30 different languages.
Mhm.
In total, MakeForms website has about quarter million pages.
Mhm.
Okay, and they are all served by one CMS. If I had to do this on Framer would charge me
Yeah.
$350.
My
And
God,
I
yeah.
think, and then they literally tell you that for every 500 pages, they are going to
Pages,
charge
yeah.
you extra.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
recently there was this blog article about, like Webflow charging person $500 to $15,000 a year. They're telling them
Yeah.
that you need. So like that's a tech that I'm talking about. So our way of working has always been like, we are not in this for short run. We are not in this for million, $2 million. We will grow slow, very slow. We will keep on building, like in such a way wherein at one point in time we are replacing at least 8 to 10 different tools with just one subscription. And I'll tell you, with Makeforms now, what we are doing is that we have within Makeforms, we are now having form builder. We are building a Calendly within baked into forms.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are building an appointment app. Then we also are building a CRM, and we recently launched something called as Flexisign. So Flexisign is your DocuSign alternative.
Doctors. Yeah.
So what we understood is that the problem today with microservices is that if you have a service for everything, first of all, you are paying $29 for type form, jot form, whatever you are using, or any form builder tool. Or let's say you are not paying for your form builders because you are using Teleform.
Mm.
But you use, so either you decide that, okay, I would go with free, you go with free Calendly, you go with free, Pipedrive is not free, no CRM is free today.
Mm.
So, but if you want to use some kind of pro features, you are looking at least 140 to $150 a month. On top of that, now for everything to communicate with each other, you will either use a Zapier or Make.com or something like that.
Mm.
And that connection will cost you another $40 $50. So for a single user, you are spending at least $200. What we want to bring in is the value add that you pay us about 29 to $35 a month per user. We will give you form builder, we will give you appointment booking app, we will give you a CRM, we will give you digital signing, all of that at one place. So number one, and that is something that enterprises love.
Yeah.
If because the problem with enterprise is that their procurement now even the cross-border procurements have become very difficult
Mhm.
because of this new sales tax and everything. So if you are telling your procurement that okay, we have to purchase 10 different tools, and then you say that okay, here we just have to purchase one tool, the procurement is always going to go to that one tool.
One tool. Yeah.
So that is the vision that we are building on.
Mhm.
So what we are building, it's not an easy thing, but we were like in within this for like we were like okay, we are prepared that it's going to number one take a lot of time to build, and then it's going to take almost double time to sell.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So that's like if you ask me about what my journey has been, it has been from a complete dev agency side to being on the opposite side of the table to actually sell to those agencies now.
Okay.
So that's
Interesting.
the
So
whole journey
this
being.
nice, interesting. So this brings me to the question, like, are you still continuing with the agency part of it, or have you completely stopped and switched to
No.
product?
So agency actually brings in the product while brings in the money to build the
Mhm.
product, because you
Yeah.
cannot like it's not like you build a product, it's your child, everyone loves your child and they are going to throw money on you. Like there is
Mhm.
lot of because even like I've been seeing this that the conversion rates, because right now there is if we were talking 10 years 12 years ago, when these things were evolving, it was different. Today it's very different. Like people are literally like seeing 10 different products. It's similar to dating, like everyone is seeing 10 people on Tinder.
Yeah.
So now
Yeah.
even it's the same with SaaS tools. People have got so
Yeah.
many options,
Yeah.
and
In fact,
people literally have the choice parity issue today, because
yeah.
now there is a product which is free but it does not add value. So if you were able to make a decision in let's say one day, we are seeing our sales cycle going from like maybe 15 days to almost some people have signed up 4 months ago and now they are paying for it. So it literally tells you that like there is so much of choice that people literally have to go and use each and every tool, write it down what works for them, and then take an informed decision.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's this paradox of choice that has happened because of so many tools, and like you said, like solely concentrating on microservice, and it works for the founder who is trying to build a small business. But yeah, if you look at the demand side, it becomes a little bit difficult, specifically with enterprise companies, where because I also worked with an enterprise company, and there I when we used to take decisions of procuring any tool, we would see what uh, what other things that are like there is one common problem, but what are the other things that can be solved with this tool. I wouldn't want to take five six seven different tools, and that would also uh, increase my overhead costs. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you look at from that aspect, absolutely that this is a very valid point. But like I know that you've been working on make forms and previously make stories, and now you're working on flexi sign. Make forms specifically, it's such a saturated and competitive space.
that, like, I'm sure you're aware of. Like, of course the market leader is Typeform, Jotform. But if I see the like microservices, like a smaller segment, smaller customer segment, or smaller market, I see a lot of alternatives which have come for Typeform, just because Typeform is really, really expensive. Secondly, we have Google Forms, which is free. So how are you positioning your make forms in this competitive space, and how are you, like, getting people to actually take your product instead of others?
That's like that's a question that many people have asked me. They're like, you need that level of courage to enter this market.
Yeah.
And I would tell you why there are so many microservices. Because all of a sudden in the pandemic, teleforms picked up.
Mhm.
Okay,
Tally,
and
yes. Oh, Tally, yes. Yeah, yeah. That's
now
another thing.
teleforms picked up, and all of a sudden people thought that form is such a thing wherein like if these guys can build a business, we will also build out of it.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem today I feel is that everyone wants to be a typeform alternative, while it looks nothing like typeform.
Mhm.
No, like if you see anyone, like I can blatantly talk about it, because, and I'm in fact going to make a video out on this. If you see teleforms, it looks nothing like typeform.
Yeah.
If you see, there is some another tool called Fillout. Looks nothing like. If you see why Typeform is able to charge a premium, everyone talks that okay, Typeform is expensive while they are our competitor definitely, and we are going after them. But I have some level of respect for them because they have built that level of UI and UX.
Mhm.
People don't use Typeform. People were still paying them $29 for 100 responses. Pay for those that level of experience when it comes to form filling.
Mhm.
And so, as I said, when we started building, we really like I have used every form builders, and if you see what we have built, it's like if we saw all these different posts on Typeform community, Shortform community, and what I have seen is that they both of these products have grown too big to now, at least I think at one point of time, even we will be like them.
Mhm.
Wherein at that level, you cannot keep on adding, features set. But what we had is we had a head start, wherein we said that okay, now since we are new and we are building it out, let's at least fill out those gaps that the other players have. So what we built on was very small things like the pain points of the users. So the first pain point is that for today any business they want to do an verification. For example, you want to verify the email address and mobile number of the person who is filling the form.
Yeah. Yeah.
Typeform does not have that feature. Jotform has it.
Mhm.
But what Jotform tells you is that now you go ahead and you bring in your Twilio API,
Mhm.
and that's where your again the procurement kicks in, because
Mhm.
now you will have to go to procurement. You will have to tell, okay, we also need to purchase a Twilio subscription. What we did is we baked in that entire thing.
Mhm.
Okay? We said that okay, you don't have to go to Twilio, you just purchase it from us. We'll have a certain level of markup which people are happy to pay.
Mhm. Nice.
So I think our differentiation was all about, like filling those gaps. And if you are asking me about how we are reaching out to these people, the second thing that we played on a lot was the compliance part
Mhm.
and the privacy. So if even if you see any of my posts today, we are saying that MakeForms is the world's first privacy and
Privacy.
security focused form builder tool.
Mhm.
So we have baked in compliance like SOC 2, ISO, GDPR, PIPEDA, HIPAA, Australian DPA. Like you name the compliance, and there is a chance that we are like even today we were saying there is this NIST CSF framework.
Mhm.
It's a security framework that US government uses. We are 85 to 90% compliant with that framework also.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that has been one thing, and I have, if I give you an honest answer, there is not a single user that I have gone after and I've told them to use MakeForms.
Mhm.
So all I've spent $0 on marketing, and
Mhm.
it has all been inbound leads. And even if you we have never incentivized even a single of our G2 review.
Mhm.
Like we are totally against that. We are saying that okay, if you feel that the product has added value, please go ahead and review. Or else we are completely okay if you won't review. The whole foundation of solving it for the user and picking up the things that other people have left out is the thing that we have built MakeForms on, and we'll keep building on.
So
So
I'll just go a little bit back on this particular set where you are talking about picking up things which other people have left out, right?
yeah.
How did you come across these features? Like, did you do customer interviews or user research, something like that, where you were able to understand, well, yeah, these are the things which is missing in these big form builders, and probably I can cap it on this, like, probably.
Mm, yeah. So I've never interviewed anyone. In fact, I think I've hardly even had a word with any of the MakeForms users.
Hmm.
As I said that, like in my life, I have been a little privileged because I was on the other side of the table. I was a user myself, and like when you build a product, actually, I used to understand this because in the agency also, like we work with some of the biggest finance companies in India, and we understood their one pain point. Like when we were building just one landing page for them, the landing page was built in probably 2 days, and their OTP integration, like one time password integration for their mobile, took about 2 months. And I was like, if this guy is struggling so much, what if we give him this particular thing? Like just a toggle for verification and boom, done. Second thing, what we did is that I would say, and this has also got a lot of things to do with the director of engineer that I have, like was Deepak Raghuvanshi. He also had a huge, background, like a decent background in both the agency and the publication business. And in fact, he was with one of our clients, and then from that client, he joined us. So it was, like a collective brain. Like we ourselves have been users of so many products, and we have struggled so much. Like what we've done is we have a mixture of what's left out from the other products, what best the other products have. We have mixed everything. Like the best of everything is something that we've captured and put in. I'll give you one more example. People really don't take this very seriously. In fact, there is one form builder that has recently been very famous. And, like what we were trying to do is we were just, what I did, I just wrote on Reddit about our form builder wherein someone was asking for a type form alternate. And that they've just launched a couple of months ago. And
Are you talking about Uform?
maybe I am. So they did come up and they said, okay, no one wants such a form builder of yours that's so complicated.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, if you feel that way, you will see it one day yourself because your growth will be restricted by it. What we did is today MakeForms is the only form builder that allows you to decide in which country will you save your data.
Oh,
So
very nice.
and that too on a workspace level.
Mhm.
So just think of this: you are an American company with operations across the globe. Today, in MakeForms, you can decide on workspace level
Mhm.
that a particular workspace data will be saved. So you can just have one master MakeForms account, and you say, okay, in MakeForms, you can select between US, Canada, EU, India, Singapore, and Australia.
Mhm.
Those are the 6 data centers that you can select from.
Yeah.
So you are a company based out of US, and what you want to do is that you want to say, okay, I have corporations in Singapore and Japan. So I will create a workspace for my Singapore business, and all of that Singaporeans data will be saved there. Because believe me or not, there is going to be a time wherein it's all going to come down to data sovereignty,
Yeah.
and no one is looking at it right now. Even India is coming up with PDPD, this thing. What do you say? Privacy Act.
Privacy Act. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are doubling down on that privacy. So
Mhm.
it really does not bother me when like the competition is going ahead, and all of these indie hackers are trying to build something which is getting them 1,000, 2,000 next month of MRI. It really does not bother me Because what we are in is that we understand that we are in for an enterprise, and enterprise sales is not something that happens in it. For certain sales cycle can be as long as a year and a half,
Mhm.
because you need to find the correct people.
Correct. Yeah,
uh,
because they don't even if
yeah.
once they get onboarded, it's difficult for them to also switch
No.
platforms. Like they need.
So like as I said, we are in this business wherein we are in for a very long game, and we are pretty much prepared for it. So coming down to your question, whether we have stopped the agency, that's where all this conversation started
Yeah.
from. So we have not, because we cannot afford to do that. Because today, if I go ahead and I stop doing my agency business, then where will I get the funds to run this product?
No, interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. I mean, there are a lot of people who I've met, and they started as a service business, as a service agency or a service business, and then they switched into product just to get, like, for scalability purposes. Because service industry is something that you have to do it on a everyday basis, and it's
Yep.
one on one, right? Like you're solving a problem for one client. But if you want to scale it up and you want to solve one problem for multiple clients, that is when product or SaaS comes into picture.
Yeah.
And the point that you raised about privacy, I think that's very interesting because uh, I come from a legal background. I have been, we were doing a lot of research, and we were preparing a lot of privacy policies for all of these companies. And I remember at a time when the problem with India is that they are not very aggressive around privacy guidelines and the Privacy Act that they had to implement. So they are not. But when GDPR came, I remember when GDPR came, then all industries and all software companies had this huge issue of where the data will be processed and where the data will be stored. So people had to anyways comply by GDPR guidelines. So at least for the EU nations.
EU
So yeah,
nations.
when you're every country, and specifically when it comes to data sovereignty, yes, data is the money, right? Data is where the money is, and at at that point of time, softwares need to comply with all of these regulations. So coming to this regulation bit of it, is it very expensive? Just for the context to understand, like, is it very expensive to comply with all of these guidelines, SOC 2 or
You
GDPR,
should
etc.?
be you should be ready to burn at least $30,000 to $50,000
Mm-hmm.
to reach
Okay.
the levels of compliances that we are at. If
Mm-hmm.
you want to do one or two frameworks, maybe it's not that expensive, but you the minimum that you would be shelling out is at least ten to $20,000
So this is for each client, or are you saying in a complete whole for your
on
product
on the product level. Like
on the
today,
product
if
level?
you see, if you would go to jot form and type form and you would ask them for SOC 2 compliance,
Mm-hmm.
they would tell you, okay, go ahead and purchase our enterprise plan.
Yeah.
MakeForms has all of that built in. Like you do not have, because what we believe is you do not have to spend money for privacy, because that's
Mm-hmm.
a legal right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you should not be charging people for the legal what they legally deserve.
Mm-hmm.
And like this whole compliance thing has been, I think, being abused by the software companies, wherein they ask you to and it's the same server, it's the same infrastructure, everything is same, but
Mm-hmm.
just for one certificate they would
Yeah.
charge you these many dollars.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
and like the one more reason why it's very difficult for us to grow very quickly is because we are being in the business wherein we are saying that once you have paid us, there is no need for us to show our branding.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like even if you see, if you are a normal free user and you create your form will never be published on makeforms.io.
Mm-hmm.
It will always be published on a white label URL that we have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, like this, and this has been debated a lot of.
So, yeah, I mean, this brings me to the question, like, I have known for the fact that if you're building up, there should be some virality component on it, right? And mostly the virality component is having your own logo, which
Made with
gets,
like forms.
yeah,
Today, even if you
yeah,
pay Typeform, they won't remove it.
yeah, yeah. So does that hamper you? Do you think that this will somewhere hamper me in the long run?
It
Probably.
will, but as I said, I'm always prepared for, like, I know what kind of business am I getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Wherein like it's all about giving people more value than what they are giving me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the only way to like retain them. Like make forms, even if you give us $29, What we will do is we will let you connect your domain.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have your, like survey.yourproductlogs.com or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that we are doing is we are not restricting you to the format.
Mm-hmm.
So today, let's say you just want one field at a time, or you want step form, or you want all fields at a time. You can do that with MakeForms. With any other form builders, there is a choice that you can either do one at a time, or else you can do all fields at a time, or else you have to create multiple steps with one field in each step. So as I said,
So like I understand that there are three things which is making you completely different from the existing form builders. One is customization, one is white labeling, and one is privacy. Privacy being the most important of it all.
yes, yes,
Yeah. So I know that you have run an LTD on Rocket Hub, right? Yeah,
yeah.
for Make Forms, and I think you're currently running LTD for FlexiSign as well. So how has that experience been for you? And did you think that you got the right set of customers from these LTD campaigns? Mhm.
LTD is you do it in your initial stages because like as a lean team, you cannot like how I can say this. You really cannot stress test your product
Mhm.
because if I am building a form, I might be able to go through certain level of complex forms. But if I have these users who are the LTD users and I want them to break my form builder.
Mhm.
So whenever we run an LTD, it's never ever about we are never in for the customers or for the money. It's all about they pay you plus they stress test the product plus you build a community out of it.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
today, if you like for FlexiSign, I could have very easily run an LTD on my own because that's the level of equity that I've built for myself. So it's all about having a certain set of community that you build that
You're early
initiate
adopters, yeah,
the early
and
adopter.
early promoters of the product. Yeah.
I'm not sure if the LTD community is your promoter.
Okay.
Because if they were the promoters, they would not be pissed off if you even put in a small logo of yours.
Mhm.
LTD community is a community which is like a double-edged sword, I would say.
Mhm.
And this has happened with us when while we were running the LTD. They can very easily take your product, make it a hero. It wouldn't take them even 20 minutes to label you as a failed founder or a founder who has got a hot head or something like that. It's very easy for that community to thrash you also.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've seen those posts, and initially when I was also running the LTT, I was extremely scared. Like, oh, we have to be like really careful of what we are posting, what we are responding, because these guys, like, they don't take even a minute to think, and they will
You know,
just, they're very brutal, very
They
brutal.
they feel that
So,
they are privileged,
yeah,
like because they have given you
money.
like and today let's say with Rocket Up at least the percentages are decent enough. If
Mhm.
you are doing an app sumo, you are getting maybe 20-25%.
Yeah,
You made hardly even $20 out of it. But like the level of service that you have to do is enterprise level of servicing of those customers.
yeah.
But slowly, gradually, we've understood how to deal with such people. And I think with FlexiSign, it's also doing pretty good. Again, if you see FlexiSign, we have made it very easy for users to go through the compliance. Like, and in fact, we are going to do that with MakeForms also. Let me show you how easy it is to navigate through the FlexiSign compliance. So today, if you are a FlexiSign user, okay, all you literally have a compliance tab.
Mm-hmm.
No product has this tab.
Interesting.
Okay, and here it's saying that all of these compliances are active for your account.
Mm-hmm.
If you want HIPAA compliance, you just need to click on request BA. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
moment you do this, what happens is that there will be an e-signature document sent to you, and when both the parties sign it, you will get your agreement over there, and it's all automated.
Mm-hmm.
Like compliance at this level of automation has not been done by any tool till date. Like all of the compliances are manual. Like you request, like even if you
Mm-hmm.
go to
Yeah.
AWS or some that level of, you first have to fill out the form,
Mhm.
then someone will reach out to you.
Mhm.
They will tell you, okay, why do you need this compliance certificate? But
Mhm.
we are pretty open about, like, because as I said,
Mhm.
compliance and privacy is the right of the user, is what we believe in.
Mhm.
So we have made it very open for everyone to,
Mhm.
like, get a download copy of our SOC 2 compliances. Once you are a user, you get, as I said, you get all of that baked in.
Yeah.
You don't have to come to me or the support.
So there's this thing that I want to ask you. Like I know I've run the LTD, and the kind of customers that I got was some were early stage startups, some were agencies, some were solopreneurs, some are creators. There's a mix of audience. But when it comes to compliance, like I know it's a legal right and you have to protect your data, but it's enterprise customers who are mostly who actually do regular audits for their company. They require these compliances, right? So now, in your experience for running LTDs for MakeForms and for FlexiSign, have you seen a huge amount of people who are actually requesting this, who need this? Are you getting those sort of kind of customers?
I'll tell you, LTD community is something that you fear at the very beginning, because you feel that they are going to abuse your system and your servers will be off the roof, and like, you'll have to take care of them for your entire life. But believe me, that community, while they demand a lot of stuff from you, they're never going to use.
Mhm.
They're never ever going to use your product. Like, you might be worrying about it from day one, that how I will sustain it.
Mhm.
Unless and until you are an AI product, I
Mhm.
think there is no need to worry about that.
Mhm.
We sold about, I think, 500 or 600 licenses of MakeForms. It might be even more.
Mhm.
I feel that I have, out of those 600 700 customers, I might be having 10 to 20% of those users who are active customers.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Like this is a very big problem with people say that, oh, go do LTD, launch on AppSumo, etc. But the
But
type of customers that we have received
let
through
me
LTD.
let me clarify that also. Now tell me one thing. When you start building a product, okay, and if, let's say, you have sold even $50,000 worth of LTD, and on AppSumo you received, let's say, 25,000,
Mhm.
because you ran a marketplace deal. Tell me honestly, you got that $25,000 chunk right away. If you were to build an MRR,
Mhm.
okay, and get G2 reviews, it would have not been possible.
Yeah,
Like, it would take you at least year and a half or 2 years to reach.
absolutely. Yeah.
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 So I think,
Unless you have an audience to get
yeah.
on
So
with. Yeah.
I think, like, what indie hackers should actually do is they should join these companies,
Mhm.
because what indie hackers are actually doing is I feel that they are definitely contributing, but like, while they are contributing, the entire microservices ecosystem is getting so bloated that it's actually not helping anyone. Like,
That's an
today, if you
interesting
ask
insight.
me, I don't have that kind of reach. Okay, I am purely being dependent on the organic stuff. I think Bhanu from Site GPT is an exception, uh, because he does code and he does write. And honestly, I feel he has got some superpowers to do that.
Yeah, but no, he also isn't very good at SEO and stuff. He's just starting to learn. But what he
Mm,
did was he just kept documenting his journey on Twitter. Yeah, that's all he did.
exactly, but
Yeah.
like, even to have that level of, like, what do you say, uh, daily, I'm not able to remember, but having that discipline
Discipline, yeah. Mm.
of, like, even I tried doing it. I did it for a week. After a week, I was not able to do it. So to sustain and to do that entire thing every day in, day out,
Mhm.
is a thing, right? So I would rather have someone at my company who
Mhm.
has that level of reach, because I strongly feel that indie hackers, like, while everyone is trying to do indie hacking today, I'm not sure about the success ratio of it.
Mhm.
Because while like, if you see that guy, he someone who is posting amazing pics about his product, about the growth and this, I feel that, okay, this guy might even be doing half a million ARR already, and then I go and I check his public roadmap is at about $700 MRR.
Hmm. Okay. Hmm.
So, and I've seen this a lot.
Hmm.
So like what's I feel is and will at certain point in time end up happening is that there was a trend where everyone was thinking that okay, this works, that everyone should be an influencer, everyone should be a YouTuber.
Hmm.
Now it's all quite it's very much like it's all congested. There are so many players. At one point in time, I feel form builders as an ecosystem plus the indie hacking, and this actually did happen a lot after the AI boom.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's all going to fade out very soon. Like even if you see AppSumo today, AppSumo is having so much of backslash because there are so many indie hackers. They are just shipping the product, they're making the money out, they're just closing the shops. And the worst part is that so many developers are closing the shop and using the same source code and then launching the product with a
New
different.
product. Yeah. Yeah. That's that.
So
That's happening.
that's happening a
Yeah.
lot. So I feel there is going, just like people are talking about the stock markets, there's going to be a huge correction in the software industry itself,
Hmm.
because there are definitely softwares, as I said, if you are like today, if you see MakeForms, it's horizontal, like it solves for so many people.
Hmm.
Like we literally have India's one of the biggest NBFCs who uses MakeForms.
Oh, very
They
nice.
use it. They use it for their HR. They use it for their sales. They use it for their customer support. Then, so if you see our user, then we have something called as the Wedding Collective, which is an event company. They
Hmm.
are using it for event registrations.
Hmm.
So we are seeing this as a horizontal SaaS. It's a completely different ball game within itself.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I feel that there is a lot to learn. Even I feel that I am just getting started now, because people in the again another bigger problem with horizontal SaaS is that people keep on asking me who is your ICP.
Hmm.
I don't.
Yeah.
I cannot even make it out who is my ICP.
Hmm.
Because if I would say okay, digital marketing executive or SEO executive or the marketing head is my is my ICP. Turns out at one point in time there is a web developer who is the ICP, because web developer is taking a decision whether I want to do it with a form builder or I want to build the form myself.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's
number
true.
one,
So it depends on what stage your product is going at. Like it can be a very early stage company where the developer himself is the marketer and everything, or it can be an enterprise company, or it can be a mid-sized company where there are distinguishable marketing teams and marketing
but
heads
if you
who will.
see if you see forms today, like
Mhm.
specifically forms, not any other product. Forms like a CISO might also be procuring, because CISO has a different point of view. Okay, we need a form with security.
Mhm.
There can be an HR head who is saying, okay, I want to automate my entire HR onboarding and everything, so I will buy it. So for us, finding that ICPs is so difficult today, is what I'm trying to explain you.
So this brings me to the question that I like now, as of now, since you are not come down to an ICP, because there are various use cases and there are various people who can use this product. Have you thought about niching it down to a specific customer segment, like only HR because I also a follow up question to this was, how are you actually marketing? Because you said you're not spending any dollar in marketing. So how are you reaching all of your customers?
Uh, I would say that what we are doing is we are focusing on SEO a lot, because and we in fact now started nailing down an ICP based on our compliance requirements, and for specific reason I won't like to mention what ICP are we going after. But yes, we have nailed down a couple of ICPs because we have received positive feedback from them, and we are doing cold outreach with those things, those ICP. And another focus area is doing doubling down on SEO,
Hmm.
because like if you see our SEO graph, it's steadily moving on. It's going up and up only. So I think these are the only two, cold outreach and SEO are the only two things that we are doing. I'm trying to do Twitter and LinkedIn, because I feel my audience is more of on the LinkedIn. Twitter, I'm not sure, to be honest, because I feel it's good for your initial traction maybe, or if you are building for that particular niche that is on Twitter. I
Yeah.
feel that my audience may not be on Twitter.
Yeah,
I'm not so sure about
as per my experience, what I have found, there are these solopreneurs and these indie hackers and these, like, I have built my audience in that way. So I've got like,
yeah.
these are most of my like, mostly the followers that I get or engagements that I get on the post. And a lot of traffic comes from Twitter as well. But these are very different to what you might be targeting. Your product seems like a suite of products, which I believe is more better off with enterprise grade companies and
So
mid-sized companies.
I will tell you, I have a bigger problem. I have Make.io,
Mhm.
which has four products: Make Stories, Make Forms, Make Emails, Make Pages, Make Videos. Sorry, five.
Mhm.
Within Make Forms, I have Make Forms calendar booking, CRM, Flexisign. So there is a layer within layer right now.
Oh, Flexisign is a sub-product of your MakeForms.
Yeah, due to
Oh,
compliance
interesting.
reasons, what we did is it was making much more sense to put it into inside make forms as because of compliance reasons. So even if you go to FlexiSend website today, it tells you FlexiSend by make forms.
Okay, acha.
Yeah, and even if once you have signed the document,
Mhm.
you will see that it is say signed by Flex make forms and not
MakeForms,
FlexiSign.
acha.
Like as a product person, if you ask me as a product person, I am very sure what I want. I have a very strong conviction. I believe in my conviction. If you ask me as a business, as if how I am going to grow, whom I am going to go after, I don't have those answers with me today because
Okay.
I feel that once I add value, people are going to, and once with definitely, when I say people are going to find out, it's definitely through SEO because I've been hearing this since my final 7 to 8 years that Google is not going to be there and SEO is going to die. They said this when YouTube came. They
Yeah,
said now no one is going to go to Google because
Google, yeah.
then when Amazon picked up, everyone said that okay, I don't even go to Google to search what I want to buy. I go to Amazon. Now, if this is where I'm worried when I talk about the microservices.
Hmm.
Everyone thought that like Google is going to die because everyone will go to Amazon, everyone
Hmm.
will go to Spotify.
Hmm.
But what I am saying is that Google is still the second largest company,
Yeah,
and they are growing.
yeah,
And so, if you understand this, the microservices architecture actually never work.
yeah. Hmm.
And what works is how much value do you give to the user. So, my entire focus is all about how I can bake in more value to my product
Hmm.
because eventually like what we have been seeing is that without doing anything like all we did was improve the performance of the app and we are seeing double subscriptions in this so if as I said as a product guy if you ask me you will get very strong answers from me, very
Hmm.
pointed, very much, like to the point answers. But if you ask me as a business, I don't have an answer today because one thing again, as I said, I have had this privilege wherein
Hmm.
I've got no investors to answer to.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I this brings me to my next question because I remember in the middle somewhere you had applied and you got selected for some accelerator or incubator or something.
yeah,
So what happened then?
so it was I think it was the Paddle AI incubator.
Okay.
We got selected. But I think it was all about. I think it was more of a marketing thing for Paddle
Mm-hmm.
because they were about when we applied, we thought we were about one of the 25 or 50 um, startups that got selected, but there were about 130, 140 startups. So I was like, okay, this is just a marketing thing for Paddle.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah.
So then we did not quite actively pursue it because it needed a lot of like mental bandwidth and a lot of what you can say uh, like a commitment from my end and I was not ready for that commitment yet is what I believe.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, what is your take on getting funded or versus bootstrapping?
So I have had word with a couple of VCs, many of them inbound because of Make Stories. I feel it really depends. I would say that if I'm making $1 million a month, dollars a year, why should I take the VC money? I feel
Mm-hmm.
it's because I really do not ever want to be in the limelight.
Mhm.
Like if you even see, like I don't like to like be in wherein I'm known, because it has got its own problem. The moment you are in the limelight, the way I
You
am
have a lot
talking,
of pressure. Yeah. Yeah.
like
There's
I
a lot of
cannot
pressure
be
you have to give. Yeah.
like I'm blatantly talking about few things, right?
Mhm.
Like I'm talking about how the entire ecosystem is. It should not be there, or it should be
Mhm.
in a different way. You
Mhm.
cannot do that things when you have
Yeah.
someone else's money, because whatever you speak, it can have
It
an
has a
adverse.
adverse.
So I
Correct.
would
Yeah.
rather like keep that thing with myself. And if at all I'm funded, I have like there has been times where like people told that you are just focusing on too many things. You should be perfecting one thing at a time. But then I ask these people that, okay, in which sectors do you invest? Do you invest only in SaaS? They give me an answer saying that no, we invest across sectors. We invest in green tech, fintech, SaaS, cloud.
Good question.
So I am like, okay, if
Nice.
you guys don't have a focus, then how can you ask me to to do only one thing? Because my entire conviction is about building a master product of Make.io.
Yeah.
Today, if let's say Sridhar Vembu would have started, I feel if he would have gone to any VC saying that I want to build Zoho one, I'm pretty sure every
No.
VC would
Yeah.
have told him that you need to focus on one thing.
Not one. Yeah. Yeah.
So if and if Adobe, for example, okay, today if Adobe has so many products inside it, like if you see the larger goal of any company, may it be Google, Apple, if someone told Apple that you focus only on mobiles, you don't have that courage to tell them that.
Mhm.
But someone, if I am having that courage, wherein I am saying that I want to build this entire thing,
Mhm.
these people come and they tell me that you should be focusing on one thing,
Mhm.
right? Whereas their success ratio is so screwed up. These guys say that only maybe 1 out of 20 companies will
Actually make money and give
make money.
returns. Yeah.
So it turns out that your success ratio is only 5%. I am building products for last 6 years and I am still here. And I am pretty sure that I will be there for next 6 years. So my success ratio is much more higher than yours.
Yeah.
And so I feel
Interesting.
since only because we don't have those millions or billions of dollars, it's just that people feel that we are no one,
Mm.
and they try to kind of come up with their terms and their notions of how things should be done. But as I said, my conviction stays with only one thing, that I want to build Make.io, and this will be a one place suite for marketing and sales team.
Mm.
Like they want to build their landing pages, they want to build their emails, they want to create their videos, stories. Then their sales team wants to collect the data, put it in a CRM, then communicate with their customers, book appointments, and finally close the deal. They would be using one tool through that
Yeah.
entire journey. So from the lead capturing to the like all those properties to capture those leads to closing the deal, we want them to be only on Make.io. So
Mm.
that journey is very difficult, because even if you see today, like all of these tools have taken years and years to build.
Mhm.
Right? So what we are building is we are building an amalgamation of all these tools combined. So
Yeah.
I am in it. I am feeling that there is no way till the end of 2025 we will even be close to launching Make.io.
Mhm. So this brings me to the question that since there are multiple products that you're working on as of now, and then there are a lot of backlog in terms of tech debt and in terms of you have to still launch Make.io. How you and your team are managing the entire work front in terms of how are you like allocating resources? First of all, you have your own agency as well. Then you have these three products as of now. So how are you allocating resources? That's
We have
happening.
zero work-life balance. I have a
You
simple
you
answer.
I am now it's very clear you are not an indie hacker.
Yeah, we have zero work-life balance. I literally start my day at around, I would say, 11. I'm working till almost 10:30 at the night.
Wow.
There's no way, like, I've got zero work life balance. I'm working on my Saturdays, Sundays. My Chintan works on Saturdays and Sundays. Sundays, maybe evening, I'd go out with my wife sometimes.
Yeah,
I
this
don't think
this again brings me to my next question. Don't you face burnout? Like, how are you managing? How are you keeping up with everything?
I'm young, I'm able to keep up. I think mentally you have to be very strong.
Mhm.
You don't have to be that Gen Z kid, I'm not sure if you're Gen Z or
No,
not.
millennial.
Millennial, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that we are probably the last generation that can actually take out this level of stress.
Mm.
Because, we, in our days, it was like all of these things about, like you should have a work life balance. These things never used to exist. Like we were taught that the more kind of, you would stress out yourself, it will make you stronger. Like
Mhm.
if you see even today, what I feel is that everyone is talking about work life balance, but majority of people don't, they're not happy. Like if work life balance was the only thing that you wanted in your life and you got it, you should be happy. But the happiness level is so low because what you are trying to tell is that work less, earn more money. Again, you are just trying to go, so while I say that I'm anti establishment, I also feel that if there is that there are the very basic concepts, like the basic concept of doing business, making money. If you are thinking that okay, all this is the new age, the tech is so advanced, I will be probably making $1 million, $2 million a year, like this. People are investing in stocks. So like if everyone is making so much money, at the end of the day, what happens is that money gets devalued, and then you have
Devalued, yeah.
uh, like you have recession coming to you. So if you see at a very with a very
Yeah,
long
that's what
basis,
happened during COVID, right? Like everybody got people started hiring for like three times, four times they were getting paid, and now like as soon as recession hit, everybody was got laid off. So yeah, it's
yeah. So like it all boils down on this thing. Like if you forget your principles, if your only focus is on like I am going to make so much money by only working 4 or 5 days a week. For some people it work out, but even if you see at certain point of time, they also struggle because there is no way the money is coming to you by working 5 days a week is what I have personally seen. Like the other option for me would be to bring in external funding, establish a system that I cannot control, and then like have the another stress. So at the end of the day, it depends. What do you want? Do you
yeah.
want to have the complete control, complete command in your hand till you are alive, or you just want to let loose that control? And then like then you also need to have that mental acceptance that okay, this thing is not yours anymore. It's of someone else. Or the moment you bring in an investor, you doom, like things are not in your hand anymore.
That's true. Yeah. But
So that's I had one line question. We have no work life balance.
but do you see yourself somewhere like I believe what I understand from what you were saying is that you enjoy this. It's not something that you are aiming to get a work life balance or something like work only 4 to 5 hours a day, but you sort of enjoy working as many
Yeah,
hours as you can get. So yeah, that's something that you want and you like it, and that's something that is making you happy as a whole, right?
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
like the moment whenever a person gets into tech, thinking that okay, this is the thing that's going to make me a shit ton of money, you're already signing up for your own, screwing up your own happiness.
Hmm.
Because our only goal was okay, I will make a shit ton of money out of this,
And then retire, but
and
that
then
doesn't
retire. And I
happen.
don't, I still don't understand early retirement. Like, why do you want to retire in your 30s and 40s?
Mm.
There's no reason. So I feel this whole, like, if the moment this TikTok and Instagram came in, it has spoiled everyone's mind.
Yeah.
So again, sticking to the basics, like if there is a company who see, like even Mukesh Ambani today, if you under he works till 3 a.m. in the morning
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even
because
I heard.
he's looking at what the prices are and this and that. He's talking to his like country heads in US and all those people.
Mhm.
Even if the richest person in India, like he has to work 13 or 14 hours a day, you being just one guy randomly who's thinking that I'm going to make $1 million only working 5 days a week, you are signing up for screwing up your own happiness. But at a certain point, again, like it's all about scaling. You will be able to scale it up to certain point. After that, it will be very difficult for you.
Hmm.
Or else the next step is to get consumed by some biggie and tell me. I believe that there has been hardly Loom or all the other acquisitions are happening. They're happening for two. If you see acquire.com,
Mhm.
I have not seen 4, 5, 10, $20 million acquisition happening.
Mhm.
I'm saying 100,000, 200,000.
Mhm.
So, what you're telling is that your happiness is about getting $200,000.
Mhm.
That's it.
Mhm. Yeah.
That
Yeah, I
one.
mean, I sort of agree with you because I have spoken to a lot of indie founders, indie makers, and it all depends upon what they want in their life. So it's if they want to work just for 4 5 hours and they just want to earn up to a level where they can be independent, where they do not have to work for somebody else or something like that, and there's no pressure. So they kind of chose that life. There's like, this is the way I want to build my lifestyle around my business, or how
Exactly.
I don't want to scale. But then there are other people who are more, they want to scale, they want to, like yourself, like you want to build a suite of products. And I don't feel that if you are working specifically building a suite of products, taking into consideration enterprise companies, etc., you will not be able to survive. Your company will not survive by working just 4 or 5 hours a day. It's not possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
yeah.
so first of all, we are finding out the issues in our daily product. On top of that, we have, so I'll tell you. First of all, we build the products. Second is we have to first launch 5 products.
Mhm.
Then we have to bring them together. Our biggest worry is that how we'll bring these 5 products together, because all of these products have to communicate with each other
Each
also,
other, yeah, yeah,
and then all of them have to be put in into compliance also.
yeah. Yeah, interesting.
So,
So, also, do you leverage your agency clients in terms of
yes.
that's good. That's good. Yeah.
So it helps in both the way. The agency client brings the product,
Mhm.
and for the people who are purchasing the products, we cross sell them the agency services.
Nice, nice. That's nice. I mean, that is a very good strategy to adopt in terms of
Yeah,
there's also some backlash that I've heard that usually they do not like cross-selling products. Have you ever experienced
it's
that?
like, so. Yeah, that's true at some point in time. Like MakeStories has 150,000 users, and we have sent them emails about MakeForms. Not a single user has bought Make.
Okay. Hmm.
So like, because this is something that we saw, it's very difficult to build
Do you think it's
multiple.
because of the ICP? Because I understand Make Stories is for publishers, writers,
Make.
creators, but Make Forms is most a lot of it for marketing teams and support teams, etc. So it could be because of the clash of, because they are not, the ICPs are not coming in a similar
Yeah,
bucket.
yeah. So that's the reason we built Flexisign, which has more alignment with the ICP. In fact, you're correct. Like MakeStories was a completely different ICP. MakeForms is a completely different ICP.
Great, great, interesting. So just to wrap it up, what is next for, I'll say, Make.io, because that's the ultimate dream. So
Yeah.
what are your plans for the next 2 years?
Within 2 years, if we can, like launch Make.io, it would be an amazing thing for us, because it's a dream come true moment, to be honest. Uh, I think in terms of suite of products, MakeStories is already there. MakeForms is live. MakeForms is getting two more additions. Like, it's not only going to be a form builder any longer, it's going to be a form builder plus an appointment booking app plus a CRM. So that's it. And maybe we can think of integrating with FlexiSign, but that's not on the tables right now. Then we have the next up is Make Videos. So Make Videos is your like text editing kind of video, wherein like that has been the new way of editing videos, because turns out with video editing people really are not liking the timeline interface anymore. They just want to highlight the text and want to create the videos. So
Yeah,
next up
video
is
editing is a pain. Like I have been speaking to a couple of people who do video editing or YouTube creators or something. It's a pain. I mean, I really want people like somebody to come up with a good product where I can, very quickly edit. In fact, the entire process of exporting an edited video, do you know how much time does it take?
yeah.
It
I
takes at
actually
least.
so we run a small SaaS video agency also, wherein we build videos for SaaS tools, because that was a problem that I faced in my early days, wherein like creating an explainer video or a product video took a lot of time if I was outsourcing it. So we built an agency within us, within our company, wherein we build videos for other SaaS companies.
Nice, nice. Yeah.
So I pretty much understand what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get so annoyed. If I've done a podcast. So I remember with Bhanu, I think I took a podcast like 2 or 3 weeks back, and then it took me 2 weeks because anyways I'm busy with my other like activities and product logs. But then it takes me a lot of effort to come sit, edit, take that 2 hours of time, and then again post it on social media, etc. It's really difficult. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping
So
there are some new improvements and some new advanced technology that can come in, specifically in the video editing space. So
definitely. So watch out for make videos. Maybe around November or October, we will have our initial launch. And
great,
then
great.
next up is make emails. So with make emails, what we are doing is that we are not restricting you to stay with us to send your emails. So what we are doing is we will be your content management and segmentation tool and an HTML email builder tool. So you can
Mhm.
create your email, send your campaigns. At the end of the day, you can bring in your own SMTP. So
Oh,
let's say
okay. Hmm.
today, what happens is that you, for example, you are on MailChimp and you
Hmm.
want to move on Brevo. You have
Hmm.
to take your entire, you have
Entire
to, why? Because you just want to change your service provider.
service provider, yeah.
What we are doing is we will be your contact and segmentation tool. You bring in your SMTP provider. We don't mind. So that is due for early 2025. The last thing which we will pick up would be make pages. The reason to pick it up at the extreme last is because I personally feel that there are so many landing page builders, and like if we will take it up, we will take it up just like how we took up forms
Hmm.
when we just went all in.
Hmm.
Like we just solved the form building to the next level, and with this AI coming up, we are rethinking about how to take the make pages approach. So I think by mid 2025, all these five products should be done. And maybe by the end of 2025, we are aiming to come up with Make.io.
Interesting. Nice.
So hopefully, like we should be ready by the end of 2025. That was the goal for 2024 end, but it does not seem that we would be able to do
No, just increase the working hours.
that. Yeah, maybe that's how we'll have to do it.
Okay, I think your team will come and kill me. Like, I only advise that, oh,
But
increase the working hours.
that's the thing with us. We really do not make our team work. Like our team never works on Saturdays and Sundays.
Mhm.
It's us. Like it's us, the me, Chintan, Deepak, and Pratik who
Yeah,
like
it's the
sleep.
founders. If the founders set, you founders are examples, right? Like you look up to the your CEO or your founder, and it's not something that if I am not coming to office, you have to come to office and work. That will never work. That doesn't
Yeah,
create a culture even.
what I believe that it's my conviction.
Yeah,
It's not theirs. So it's perfectly fine if I work 14 hours a day. I don't want them to work 14 hours. Because
nice.
if I make them work 14 hours a day, then probably it's a problem with my management.
Yeah,
I'm probably mismanaging them. So the 9 hours or 8 hours that I'm at the office, it's more of focused on like what I want to get done from them. The next 5 hours that I work is actually my work that I have to do. So it's like clearing payments, uh, doing research and things like a lot of founder, like even if there is a tap broken in your office, it's a founder's problem.
yeah, yeah. fixing the light bulb, washroom not working. Oh my God. So I think we were also discussing about getting an office. And then when we realized, oh my God, we have to take care of everything from security to fixing a light bulb or the AC. It's no, I don't think
You
that
should
can.
do it. You should. I would say it always. Again, like I really do not believe in the work from home or work from anywhere thing because like when you're building this our level of stuff, you need the person to be in the office because or else like there were 3 days when our air conditioning was not working and we were work from home. 50% of the time I was on calls. If you see the kind of again, like as I said, it's all about the narrative that the social media
You said.
wants to set. We have seen like the productivity is so good. Like FlexiSign, we came up with this in February. We were like, okay, we need to create FlexiSign. We built it in 4 months. I'm telling
Wow.
you, if we were remote, it would have taken us at least 8 to 9 months to build it.
No, I absolutely agree with you because
You should
initially
try.
I have no, I've just started out like I think 1 month back. So until 1 month back, I was trying to work from home. And somehow there's so much distraction, or somehow you feel like, okay, let's roam around a bit, let's cook something or something, some sort of distraction will come, even if you do that Pomodoro technique and everything. But that doesn't happen. So from last month, I started going to WeWork to work, and the productivity has increased so much. Like I am there for around 5 hours, and in that 5 hours I just take one lunch break. That's all. Other than that, I am working for this continuous, like good productive work for those hours, which doesn't happen at home, for sure.
And then I have another problem is that I have the attention deficit issue. Like I really cannot focus on one thing for so long.
Yeah.
So
I
like
think that
having
that's a generational problem. I think now with all the
yeah,
social media and everything, it's something. Even if I'm writing an article, I'll just switch on to some other context, and then from there I go on to another context.
yeah.
So it's, I think everybody is facing this.
So
It's
it actually helps me to have multiple products. Like I can jump between multiple products, like 5 products, and then come
yeah,
back to what I was saying. Great.
nice.
And then if you have an office like this, you always like you want to come to the office
One,
every day actually.
nice. Thanks, Pratik.
Right.
Just
It
to,
was
just
nice talking to you, Priyanka. Thanks for
great talking to you as well. I just want one quote or one line from you. Any advice that you want to give young entrepreneurs who are just starting out in their journey?
I think number one, either be privileged like me, and that privilege came after working for 10 years on my own. Like if you guys want to be an entrepreneur and if you are in for a quick buck, please don't come. It's very easy to get a logo built for $5. Then have a card printed from Vista Print uh, for 500 rupees and tag yourself as a CEO founder. But the journey that comes in, it's very like it's not rewarding.
Yeah.
If you are ready for
At least not in the immediate sense, it's not rewarding at all.
at least 1 year, 2 years, you are
Yeah.
yet figuring out what you want to do in your life.
Yeah.
So if you are thinking that the moment you as the founder and CEO, people are out there with the money and I think with like this all this latest young people getting a lot of funding,
Hmm.
the narrative has changed, but we don't understand that that is just maybe 0.0001% of the entire audience.
Hmm.
So rather if it like today, even today,
And success rates are also not good. I mean, young people coming and making the same stuff a little bit of different, and then they're, and specifically when they get funded, they're not able to give the returns, right? So
yeah,
they shut down, they shut shop.
yeah. And I would say one thing, which is even if you see like I've never worked for anyone. Like I've been an entrepreneur from day one. Even today, I sometimes feel that okay, if I have had worked somewhere, like I would have been able to build certain skills. Like today, marketing, generating that virality is something that I don't understand or I don't have. So I feel that okay, if I would have worked somewhere, it would have helped me. Like even after 18 years, okay, I started when I was 18 years old, right? I'm today what 35. Even after 17 years, I feel that I should have worked for someone. that would have helped me, or it would have helped me build contacts. So, like rather than jumping it, and someone told me that it's the two ways. Either you can just jump in the pool and learn how to swim, or else you first learn how to swim and then jump
Then,
into
yeah.
the pool.
Yeah.
So, but ultimately you have to learn swimming.
Done. Yeah.
So you decide how you want to do it,
And
but
not just
don't,
learn, but keep swimming like till
but
the
keep,
end.
yeah, keep like pushing, making your hands like just go ahead and हाथ मारो बोलते हैं जिसमें
Mm,
Indian.
yeah.
But don't come in if you feel that it's easy. It's easier to do a job than to actually build a business.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That would be my one liner, I would say.
Great, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pratik. Some great insights we got. I hope the audience is also going to love this episode because I
I hope,
really enjoyed it.
I feel that this triggers some people out there.
Well, we'll see. We'll see after after I, push
But
out the
but as they
episode.
say, like any kind of virality is a good virality.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And in fact, one good thing that happened was in my previous episodes, I mostly had indie hackers and solopreneurs or with a small team. You have a very different approach towards building products or
Yeah.
launching a business. So that is very interesting. And I hope this will be really interesting episode. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you for
Thank you so
coming and
much.
taking out your time.
Okay. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you, everyone, for those who tuned in, listened to the entire episode. If you haven't yet subscribed to my Spotify channel, do subscribe. I also have a video version of it on YouTube. I will share the links below. Please do subscribe and watch the video version as well. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. And if you want me to publish more such episodes, please do support me and please share your feedback in the comment section below. Also, this episode is brought to you by Product Logs, a customer feedback management platform where you can easily organize and track your feature requests, publish roadmaps, and change logs for your users. Also, don't forget to also check out all the amazing products that Pratik is building and is going to build for the next 2-3 years, which is MakeForms, MakeStories, Flexisign, etc. Do check it out. I have linked all the products below. I hope to see you in my next episode. Till then, tada, bye bye.